Meet Robert Jenrick, a Conservative MP, a senior and very influential member of his party's Friends of Israel group, and now a frontrunner in the Conservative Party's leadership race. So you can imagine just how powerful and how influential this chap is. And yet, this man has just normalized Islamophobia and racism on national TV. What he said on Sky TV this morning should frighten every person of color. Because you never know, he could be this country's prime minister in the future and implement exactly what he said, which is the agenda of hate against ethnic minorities. He was asked his views about the ongoing thuggery by a right-wing racist who have set the country on fire in the last few days. These racists have attacked mosques, burnt libraries, yes, libraries, a place where you go to enhance your knowledge. They burnt that place. Says a lot about them, doesn't it? They attacked police, damaged their vehicles, and physically assaulted people of color. You would have expected this man, and I'm talking about Robert Jenrick, to say a few words to condemn this thuggery unequivocally. But he was more concerned by Muslims chanting Allahu Akbar, which literally translates as Allah is great, God is great. He's so rattled by Muslims remembering their creator that he wants police to arrest them for chanting Allahu Akbar.
Is two-tier policing have any application in the last 8 or 9 days?
Well, I have been very critical of the police in the past, particularly around the attitude of some police forces to the protests that we saw since October the 7th. You know, I thought it was quite wrong that somebody could shout Allah Akbar on the streets of London and not be immediately arrested, or project genocidal chants onto Big Ben and that person not be immediately arrested. That attitude is wrong, and I'll always call out the police for it.
And this is not an isolated incident, right? In February this year, I think it was 22nd of February, this man displayed his Islamophobia in the Parliament when he said that our streets have been taken over by Islamists. Why? Because those protesters on the London streets were opposing the genocide of innocent Palestinians by Israel. Robert Jenrick, clearly didn't think that committing genocide was a crime. According to him, opposing a genocide is a crime. And you know what? Who agreed with him on that occasion was Penny Mordaunt, who was the leader of her party in the Parliament.
Speaker, would my right honourable friend agree with me that the real issue of the events of the last 24 hours is not the party political shenanigans suggested by the shadow leader of the House? The real issue is that this House appears cowed by threats of violence and intimidation. The Mother of Parliaments appears weakened and diminished as a result. We have allowed our streets to be dominated by Islamist extremists, and British Jews and others to be too intimidated to walk through central London week after week. And now we're allowing Islamist extremists to intimidate British members of Parliament. This is wrong. It has to stop. Would my right honourable friend organise a debate on extremism and how we tackle this challenge, which is one of the central issues facing our generation?
Well, I could not agree more with my right honourable friend.
I have said this repeatedly in my videos in the last few days, that those protesting on the streets and committing violence are not anti-migration as they are projected to be. But these thugs are essentially anti-non-white, which means they are anti-ethnic minorities. in this country. This is a reality, and you cannot deny that. You cannot deny that. Those trying to downplay their crimes in the media by describing them as anti-migration are also essentially closet racists. I have to say that. These are the same closet racists who are now getting emboldened to exhibit their racism or bigotry in public. This is a fact. Deal with it. Look carefully at the faces of those engaged in violent protests. These are the people who will be occupying the TV studios as TV presenters in a few years' time, illegally or legally spewing venom against ethnic minorities and Muslims in the parliament after becoming MPs and deciding on the country's future as policymakers. But the same people will still not accept that they are hell-bent on turning UK into a racist country. What does this say about our society when a Muslim MP is harangued by 4 white individuals on a national TV? And I'm talking about ITV. That just happened this week. Why? Because that Muslim MP, Zara Sultana, termed the attack on a Southport mosque by right-wing thugs as Islamophobic.
Keir Starmer, Yvette Cooper and Rishi Sunak over the weekend have all said that...
have they called it Islamophobic and racist?
Why
is
that
language
important?
These aren't trivial
They've called it
matters.
racist. Have they called it racist?
These are not trivial matters. We have to...
I know. No, I'm sorry. We do have to ask you questions as well.
Absolutely.
So
and if you want to, you can answer them.
I'm going to wait for Kate to finish her question if that's...
If you want to answer the questions, you can, but you don't have to.
So why is it important to you to use that specific word, Islamophobic? It's been called racist, it's been called thuggery. I think that's important because we are speaking to the Home Secretary and other politicians this morning. Why does that matter to you to use the word Islamophobic?
In Stockport, a mosque was targeted, bricks were thrown out. The people who were in the mosque at that time, who were basically locked down in that mosque, said that they feared for their life.
This woman, the lady presenter, has not clarified her position even from social media, so I'm unable to understand as to why she was so upset about Zara Sultana trying to term that as Islamophobic. What else was it then? One of these individuals on ITV was Ed Balls. You know who Ed Balls is? Ed Balls is a failed Labour politician and the husband of current British Home Secretary Yvette Cooper. Can you imagine what kind of conversation Ed Balls would be having at home when there is no camera spotlight on him? Can you imagine the level of outrage if someone even remotely suggested that British Jews and Christians should be arrested for calling their respective gods the greatest? This is how normalized Islamophobia and racism have become, my friends, for these people. Once again, I shudder to think the kind of conversation these people would be having inside their homes, behind the closed doors. You would have expected some compassion for ethnic minorities from Jenrick because he is married to a daughter of Holocaust survivors. But hey, that's a huge expectation from right-wing cheerleader and apologist. Doesn't this also send a message to every single person like me of color in this country that whatever you do, you will never belong to this country for them? Now you would understand the context better when you hear someone asking a person of color to go back to his or her own country. I think you haven't seen anything yet, or we haven't seen anything yet. With people like Jenrick, Boss, and our closet racist TV presenters around, I think we have embarked on a dangerous journey of disaster. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.